Hello and welcome back to a brand new series I'm starting, which is going to be teaching you all about how to script on a Roblox, okay? So this is a brand new series that I'm going to do, and hopefully it should teach you guys on how you can start scripting inside of Roblox Studio. So this is the first actual tutorial out of hopefully quite a few. You can see all of the other tutorials that are going to be related to this, which will be linked down below in the description or on the playlist on the right if YouTube shows you that. And hopefully these tutorial helps you to get somewhere. So you should try out the things that we do in the video, maybe write down notes, whatever works for you personally, but this will start at the very basics in the beginning and go all the way up to some intermediate stuff or things that I think would be important for a beginner to know. So now with that intro out of the way, let's think about what coding actually is, okay? If you think about it, coding is literally just a set of instructions for a computer to follow. When we give the computer the instructions, we have to use the specific language, and there are many different computing languages, all for different purposes. However, the one that Roblox uses is Lua, I think is how you say it. I'm just going to call it Lua inside of all the videos, but the official term is Lua, I think. Yeah, that took me really long to figure out how to pronounce. Okay, so that is, of course, Lua is derived from Lua, and you don't have to really worry about what language we're using. You just have to know how to use it, okay? So now, personally, if you agree with me or not, I think is essential to be able to code if you want to make a game. Without coding, you're really restricted on what you can do inside of Studio. So I think you really want to learn how to code, and I think it is a super important thing. Okay, so now with that out of the way, it's time to head into Roblox Studio and create a brand new script. So as you can see, here we are inside of Roblox Studio, okay? Now just make sure that you have your Explorer and properties visible and just have it set out like this. So if you want to open up your Explorer and properties, you can just head over to view and make sure these two are enabled, okay? So for me, I find this view to be the best for when I'm scripting, building, and just using Roblox Studio in general. And this is how you'll generally see everybody else using their Roblox Studio. So now for this tutorial, we're going to be creating a script inside of the workspace. So we can do this by opening up our workspace folder and clicking on the plus next to workspace and then adding a script. Make sure you add a normal script, otherwise this won't work. Now, once we've got that, it's usually very standard for the first script to look exactly like this. I'm just going to clear it out so we have a fresh base plate. When programming, we can tell the computer to do specific things with specific words. When we're programming, we can use little helpers called functions, okay? And functions are just groups of words that can help us do something specific. So we can write our own functions, and some of them Roblox can provide over to us. One of the default functions Roblox provides to us is the print function. The print function allows us to print things to the output. And the output is a little window where, as the developer, we can see all of the things that the programmers are saying to us. So we can open up the output by going to the View tab and then clicking on Output. And here is where Roblox and all of our scripts tell us problems, okay? So you might already have things here. If you already do have things here, it's because you have plugins installed. But you can clear this out by clicking on the bin, okay? And now the output window is where everything the computer wants to tell us, or the Roblox scripts are trying to tell us, this is where the computer will tell us, inside of the output, okay? You should think of the output as kind of a way where the program can tell us the problems and the things it has to say. Luckily, when we have to build our scripts, using the print function is very simple. So if we head to our first line and type in print, and then a set of brackets, you notice I did press enter there, so you can see Roblox has an IntelliSense that detects what you're trying to write. So if the first word is the word you actually want to say, you just press enter, and if not, you can just write it normally. Okay, and Roblox will automatically add the closing bracket, so you should only have to press Shift and 9 if you're on a UK keyboard, and I don't know how you get the brackets on a American keyboard, okay? Now, once we've got this, we can pass certain information to this function, which can help us print things, okay? So, now we need to tell the function what to print to the output. So you're going to use these speech marks, parentheses, I think they're called in America. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And they look like this, and once again, Roblox will automatically add the ending parentheses or speech marks. And now we can write whatever we want in here, okay? So typically you can write hello world. However, you could write whatever message you want to be inside of here, okay? This is also known as printing, and that's what we'll typically call it when scripting, okay? Now, as you can see, this is going to print, hopefully, the message hello world to the output. Now, sometimes programmers need to add notes and messages into their scripts, okay? And we can do this by adding comments and multi-line comments. For a normal comment, anywhere in our code, we can just say dash dash, and then a message we want to say. So we could explain what this line does. So we know what it does, and we could say print hello world. Now, you don't have to do this all the time. In fact, in some scripts you'll have 0 comments, in some you won't. But it's good to think about comments and what they're good for, okay? So maybe you can normally add a comment at the start of the script, and then we can tell the other programmers what this script is about and what it does. Or you can add little bits of information. But you'll find out to not overuse comments, but only use them when they're necessary, okay? Now keep in mind, any script that will be now after this dash dash will not work, okay? So we would have to start a new line, and then it wouldn't be commenting. So let's say you wanted to add multi-line comments. So if we try to use our dash and say hello, hello, you're going to see that this normal line has a red underline underneath it because it is no longer a comment, okay? And to make it a multi-line comment, we can simply do dash dash, square brackets, then move it down like this, and then you can see it's still not good. We need to close it by putting another dash dash on the end. And now we can write as many comments inside of it. So hello, everybody. This script was made by me, and it should print hello world. Okay, so now that we have our code here, you can see it's all good code, okay? It says print hello world, and it has a comment inside of it, but why has it not actually printed to the output yet? And that is a great question, okay? So this is because we haven't run our code yet, and there are a couple of different ways to run scripts inside of Roblox. Okay, so now that we have our script done, we need to get the results of the script. So we can do this by running the entire game, okay? So let's just head back over to our place 1, and then let's have a look at our test, okay? Also, you can just drag your output to be down here. That's also very typical and what I see a lot. And because of the client-server model on the Roblox engine, it's important we test our programs before moving it to production. Moving to production just means we make it public for people to use. All the testing options are accessible via the test tab, which we just went to here. And there are 3 different test tabs, okay? We can click on each one and pick one we want to use, okay? So as you can see, here's the normal play, but if we click on this drop down, you can see we have play, play here, and run, okay? So play here, and run, okay? So playing the simulation will insert your avatar at either the spawn location, which is this thing, or at the coordinates 0, 100, 0, okay? So slightly raised above the ground in the center of the map. If you click on play here and use that, it will spawn your avatar in front of where you're looking in the editor. Finally, if you click run, it starts simulating the game, but it does not insert your avatar. This simulation begins at the current camera position, and you can navigate around using Roblox controls. Now, just for this demo, let's just click on play as normal. You can also use F5 on your keyboard. I do love me some good hotkeys. And now let's give it a go. Okay, so we're loading in now. And you can see, here we are inside, and you can see in our output it has printed hello world. Okay, just ignore this here, that is because of one of my plugins. So if you have a lot of plugins, you may notice there may be other things printed around, but all you should focus is on server script 1, and you can see it printed hello world. Now if we actually use all of these modes, it would work. So if we clicked on run, it just wouldn't insert our avatar, but as you can see, the script would print it, and it'd work all very well and good, okay? Now, I'm going to be diving into client and server a bit later, but if you're playing in your game, you can swap to be, for example, what the server sees. So we can do this by clicking on current client, and we can change it to the server and to what the client can see. But if you don't know what those mean, don't worry, I'll be explaining that in a later episode, okay? Now, if we check our output, you can see it has printed here, and it has all worked, and that is fantastic. Now the output is a crucial way for us to see what our code has said, but most importantly, if our code has any mistakes, it's going to tell us these mistakes via the output, and in coding, we normally call mistakes like this errors, okay? So let's say I made a bit of a mistake in my code, and I forgot to put the closing speech mark or the closing parentheses, okay? We would click on play, and you can see our output would print the error, okay? And in fact, it even told us what we did wrong. It said malformed string. Did you forget to finish it? And it's right, we did forget it. So normally errors aren't that useful, but we will be talking a bit more about errors later on. So hopefully you enjoyed this video or this episode of this series. There will be a ton more episodes that you can watch that will be inside of these series, and you can watch these later on, okay? So to head over and watch more of these episodes, you can just click on the playlist, which will be linked down below. If you're on PC, I think you can see the playlist on the right. But thank you for watching the first episode. If you're just watching this and it's just released, the brand new episode will be releasing in about 8 hours after this one has released. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.